Promoter Eddie Hearn drops a hint for Joshua Ruiz 2. Says it's going to be in the U.S. or the U.K. It's down to those two locations. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Well. Eddie Hearn seems to have dropped some kind of breadcrumb, a clue, if you will, as to the negotiations and the news of the much anticipated Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Anthony Joshua's fight. On his verified account, he posted a picture of AJ like, working out or something. And it says, "The fire burns stronger. The hard work begins. News dropping soon." Then he put the British UK flag emoji. Frank Bruno put his little fist or whatever. Look, some people are speculating that it's going to be in the UK because of that. That better be a clue. It's in the UK. I'm skint. Listen, I want to talk about it. I don't know, but Eddie Hearn has recently said it's going to happen in the US or the UK, either November, like late November of this year, or December, US or UK. The two locations that were scouted based on the timing would be where it happened, Madison Square Garden if it's in November, or if it's in December, Principality Stadium. And I'm curious, I'm real curious to see where it ends up. I want to give my 2 cents on the matter. I think it should happen in the US. I think there's more money in the US. I think that's where this all happened, and Joshua should try to avenge his loss in America. To me, I'm glad that we're getting the fight, media rematch, whatever. Actually, I think Joshua's taking a huge risk here, to be honest. But, whatever. I'm a boxing fan, so it should be a good fight. But to me, I think it's kind of weaseling out of it. You lost to the man in America. You lost at Madison Square Garden. Why not right the wrong? And according to Eddie Hearn, he said Joshua did a vlog too, and he expressed this, but Eddie Hearn corroborated that statement. He said that Anthony Joshua wanted to avenge the loss at Madison Square Garden. So to me, based on how disastrous it was, I would like to see it in America, because just the psychology, I really believe in the psychology in boxing. Even Anthony Joshua got a sports psychologist before the fight, it was reported. But I believe in the sweet science and the mental aspect of the game. And I think for Joshua to really make amends and really prove to the fans that he's the better fighter, I would like to see him fight where it all went wrong, which is the train of thought that he said he had, and that's just my 2 cents. I think to really bury those demons and to get your own confidence back and reassure yourself, that everything's on the up and up. Because I have seen past Joshua fights, namely the Carlos Takam fight and really the Joseph Parker fight, which was a unification. And Parker was the visiting fighter in the UK. He's from New Zealand, and he fought Joshua. And to me, it wasn't on the up and up. The official that they had never refereed or officiated a high-profile title fight, and he was from Italy. They said he didn't even speak English and stuff like that. And more importantly, he fucked up the fight because Joshua wasn't looking as sensational as normal, and Joseph Parker's best work, because he's the shorter man, was in close quarters, and every time they got close, the referee would break him up and allow Joshua to time almost to recover, or to basically minimize the onslaught. That was the best chance that Joseph Parker had. You look at Joseph Parker in close quarters with his last fight, Alex Lepai or Dillian White, that's where he probably does his best work. Now, the taller fighter didn't have to deal with that. And if you think about it, that hometown leverage and advantage that Joshua had versus Parker, you seen how bad his inside fight game could be against a shorter fighter another shorter fighter who's allowed to work on the inside, such as Andy Ruiz. But Andy Ruiz has quicker hands, so that made him even more deadly. So it's a very dangerous fight. But I think Joseph Parker, he probably could have looked even better. Like, because I thought the fight was pretty close. You know, it wasn't like no one got knocked down or knocked out. I thought it was pretty close, but it wasn't Joshua's strongest performance for sure. But he wasn't able to, you know, he was a little bit apprehensive. Probably the aura of Joshua, undefeated, and, you know, he kind of bought into that and didn't let his hands go in spots. But he started to open up a little bit, and defensively he wasn't being touched much. Like, you know, Joshua wasn't landing these huge bombs on him or anything. But the biggest thing that messed up the fight to me was the referee. The referee should be like a ghost, you know, like just only there when needed. I hate fights where it feels like the referee's presence is more than the actual fight. You know, it's like they're part of the equation, and they shouldn't really feel like that. They should just be there to officiate, make sure everything's clean and on the up and up, you know. So I think Joshua really needs to fight Andy Ruiz in the US, and not just because of like the Joseph Parker and like the, you know, potential for bias with the referees and the judges and the crowd and stuff like that. But I think it would mean more for him to redeem himself and put it to bed and put the demons to rest by trying to erase the memory where it happened. I don't think he really conquers his demons fully by fighting in the UK. This is clearly his comfort zone, because what I seen, I don't give a fuck what nobody said. When Joshua was walking out, he looked shook. He looked spooked. Everybody was talking about it. You know, he was playing with his gum shield, his mouthpiece, and popping it in and out, and looking like he made a move. Like, you know, looking all skittish, and it was really weird. So whatever that was, they said he had a panic attack. Then his team saying it wasn't true. They didn't have a panic attack, whatever. But it looked like the panic attack story sounds more realistic than them just saying it was nothing. And, you know, trying to make us feel foolish, like we didn't see Joshua look like shocked. There's pictures of it online. Like this, look at how he looks with Prince Harry. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look like that walking out. That's why people said he felt relieved, or looked like he looked all this smile and teeth showing and stuff. You didn't see this type. And I watch enough boxing, like people like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's composure makes you really respect it. This man is like real life, like composed and can curb his emotions. See, and Joshua posted all this stuff. No fear in my heart for any man. Training complete June 1st. He did this on fight week. Posted his muscle bound picture. And, you know, when it came down to it, he looked spooked. Especially when he got hurt. He looked spooked even more so, like, oh shit, it's all happening for me now. You know, my every fear is being realized. You know, look, he's all smiles and all these things, but that's not how he looked to me. He didn't look like that. So I think to really right the wrong, he should fight Andy Ruiz in America, period. You know, and I told you it was weird. Look, he's smiling in literally every picture. And then when it came down to the actual fight, he looked, you know, shook. And like, look, every picture he's smiling. That's why I said it feels forced. It feels fake. It feels contrived. He's smiling in every picture on fight week. And then when it got to the fight, he looked like walking out. He didn't look as confident. I've watched several Joshua fights and followed him before he was even a champion. And every time he's walking out to bigger crowds, even in the UK, he never looked like that. He never looked visibly discerned or concerned or anything, you know. And now he's like doing all this training complete, and it's like the fight's not even official. Look. He training in the water and shit, like Muhammad Ali or something. Whatever. But I think to really erase what was done, he needs to fight him in America. I don't know what that UK flag, if that's just representing because Joshua's from the UK, or if they got this fight to land in the UK. Andy Ruiz said he's game for it wherever. You know, he said if they pay right, he said 50 million. I don't know. But if they're willing to fork over enough cash, Andy Ruiz says he'll fight him in the UK. But I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I think it makes more sense in America. I think it's more money. I think truly to redeem himself, that's where Joshua needs to make the fight. And he said that. So if it doesn't happen, it sounds like Eddie Hearns wants every advantage possible for Joshua. But here's this is the thing. To me, I think regardless, it's a dangerous fight. You know, if Andy Ruiz keeps his head on straight or whatever, I think trains regular. And I think the stylistic matchup is a dangerous fight. And Matchroom's in a real precarious position, because I feel like even if they fight in the UK, it's going to be, if Joshua gets knocked out in the UK, it's going to be even worse. You know, it's going to be David Price versus Tony Thompson. So either way, it's a gamble. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I think it should be right. Now, I know some people are going to say like, oh no, fuck that. It should be in the UK. He gave Andy Ruiz the fight the first time in America. Let's try again. Let's try that again. Let's back that train up. You know, pump the brakes real quick. Andy Ruiz, see, new media is just destroying old media, and it's so easy. And y'all see it, effortless. Y'all see me effortlessly do this time and time again. But let's back that train up. Andy Ruiz was never the official opponent until Gerald Big Baby Miller, a New Yorker, failed a drug test. So let's not act like Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn had always selected Andy Ruiz Jr. and this is the guy that they wanted to give an opportunity. They just gave him an opportunity. Realistically, Andy Ruiz was brought on board as a direct result to a mishap and a miscalculation, because another fighter that nobody told them to fight, Gerald Big Baby Miller, people wanted to see him fight Luis Ortiz, Wilder, Tyson Fury, Dillian White, and they chose Gerald Miller, and it so happens that he failed a drug test. But let's not act like he just made this concession for Andy Ruiz and came to America for Andy Ruiz. If anything, Andy Ruiz, he deserves a lot of the praise, because this man stepped in with only 5 weeks to prepare himself, you know, whatever sparring he was able to get, and you know, acclimating to New York. You got to take all that into consideration. He live in Cali, where I live. You know, well, not in the same city, but, you know, we're both in Cali. We're on the same time zone. So going to New York, that's 3 hours ahead. So already having a half-ass camp in a short time frame from negotiating, you know, because how deep are you going to get into training just because your manager's on the phone with Eddie Hearns? That doesn't mean you got the fight. So are you going to really start flying in sparring partners and shit? You might get in the gym and shake out and, you know, do some stuff, go running. But, you know, it's kind of hard to, if you don't know if it's a green light, to get fully vested in camp mode and start eating discipline and, you know, flying people out, and then find out it doesn't make it past negotiations because they picked, you know, Michael Hunter or something else. So Andy Ruiz is the one that deserves the real props here. Joshua didn't come out to the U.S. for him. He was trying to come out to the... Damn, Eddie Hearn look hella sad in this picture. I just seen that. Look at Eddie Hearn in the background. Damn. You know, he didn't come out for... He looks sad as shit. He's realizing everything they done, all the A-side games and all that. Eddie Hearns. Anyway, he didn't come out for Andy Ruiz exclusively. So that's another reason I think it should happen in America. So don't make it look like, you know, Andy Ruiz he just gave him the opportunity. He wanted to give him the golden ticket. Andy Ruiz wasn't even supposed to be here. That's what made it so shocking. The body type, 5 weeks to train, the fact that he wasn't supposed to be here, and the fact that he upset the guy who looks like the physical specimen and all this shit. So I think the fight should take place in the U.S., you know, get it right there. The panic attack, prove, you know what, that's, to me, that's weaseling his way out. That's the weasel way. If Joshua fights in the UK, because for the simple fact of all the rumors, Joey Dweco and Black Eyes, and did you have a panic attack fighting in the UK? I really don't think, you know, obviously if he beats Ruiz, he'll get credit, but I'm just saying, I don't think it puts it to rest personally and internally as much if he just goes over and then flees there to the UK and tries to go back to the, You know, it's like a kid taking his toy and going back home type shit. You know, that's just my opinion on it. I think to really give yourself closure from a disastrous night, this night that you see on the screen, drop 4 times, you got to make it happen where it happened, period. You know, I don't really think it makes sense to go to a smaller place that's harder for, you know, Andy Ruiz, the new champion, his fans to get to and things like that, to appease Joshua, who's no longer even the champion. You know, I understand how boxing works and A-sides and contracts and stuff like that, but based on all the hoopla of what happened and did he have a panic attack, to really prove that all that shit was false, fighting in the UK doesn't really do that. You know, at least for me. You know, he didn't have a panic attack. All right, come right back. Come run it back. Andy Ruiz is down to scrap, but run it back. Don't take advantage. Prove to the world that you didn't have a panic attack. Do it right here and then right your wrong here where it happened. You know, don't go running back to where it happened, you know, like getting in an argument with your siblings, and then when it get too hot and your older brother about to like punch you, then you run to your parents and shit. You know, it doesn't make sense. Like, so to me, I think Joshua should, I don't know, it hasn't been announced, but they said it's down to the US, UK. I'm just giving my thoughts of where it should happen. But either way, I'll report on it and give you guys the update as soon as it happens. The good news is Eddie Hearn says it should be an announcement soon. If you're new, consider subscribing. Let me know what you guys think. Who wins the rematch? We got to get into it. Break it down. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We work. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.